Okay, let's talk about the 6 useful kinematics equations. The first is simply speed equals distance over time, or in vector language, average velocity equals displacement divided by elapsed time. So how fast you're moving in a particular direction equals how far you're moving in a direction divided by how long it takes to make that change in position. If an object is constantly changing its motion, that is, constantly accelerating, you can also say average velocity equals the initial velocity plus the final velocity divided by 2. And that brings us to the definition of acceleration. So acceleration equals the rate of change of velocity, that is the final velocity, minus the initial velocity, divided by the elapsed time it takes to make that change in velocity. Acceleration is not how fast an object is moving. It's simply how fast it's changing its motion or its direction of motion. The first fancy equation is in fact just a combination of the 3 basics. Notice there is no average velocity and there's no final velocity in this equation. So I'll leave that algebra up to you. You just set these 2 guys equal to each other, solve for final velocity, and these 2 set them equal to each other, and it boils down to this if you're looking for displacement. Displacement is how far something moves in a certain direction, equals 1/2 multiplied by the acceleration multiplied by the elapsed time squared plus the initial velocity multiplied by the elapsed time. The fifth equation likewise is a combination of the first 3, except now we've eliminated time and average velocity. So we end up with final velocity squared minus initial velocity squared equals 2 multiplied by the acceleration multiplied by the displacement. And g's are just another way of expressing acceleration. So normally we express acceleration in meters per second squared, but you could also divide by a standard acceleration. This acceleration, the acceleration in free fall, 9.8 meters per second squared. So this is just another way of saying acceleration. And those are the 6 most common kinematics equations.